this is not just about reaching more people. It's not just about your numbers growing. It's about making the difference that you came here to make, fulfilling on the promise that your soul made when you came in.
I want to bring up our next guest. I'm so excited to have her here with us today. And I want to bring her up here. And Sage Lavine is a beautiful woman, a huge heart. She has built an incredible movement helping women monetize their message. She has built a Facebook group that's very powerful. When you build your own groups, they become your own stages. And I'm so excited to welcome my friend to Platform Tour. Would y'all give some love for Sage? Give some love for Sage. Give some love. Give her some love. Sage, I'm going to let you take it away.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, you're here. What an honor, Pete. What an incredible event you've put together. I invite every single one of you to reach your hand up over your head and pat yourself on the back. I'm actually coming to you live from a hotel in Palm Springs. And when my team found out that I was going to be doing this speaking gig from a hotel in Palm Springs, I just had breakfast with Reed Tracy. He's the CEO of Hay House Publishing. He's giving me advice on how to actually do the second launch of my book. I'm so excited to share with you guys some tips on how to grow your platform, how to really launch a message into the world. I can't believe I've grown our Facebook group to over 50,000 active people, and we've actually done seven-figure launches out of that Facebook group. So I'm just so honored to be able to be here to share with every single one of you so you can get out there, make an impact, great income. My team actually found out I was going to be doing this from the hotel. They made me a 20-second video so you guys could see some of the things that we've been up to. So I invite you to stand up, reach your arms up overhead. We're going to stream some music that's totally safe for Facebook. It's royalty free, but get a little groove on, make a little psychic space for some more learning because I can't wait to dive in. We'll stream the video. Okay, so that just makes me happy, right? Because I used to be a school teacher from Iowa, and I'm guessing some of you might be here because you're in some kind of a career transition. You're wanting to get your message out in a bigger way. You're wanting to actually reach more people on the internet. And I used to be a school teacher from Iowa making $28,000 a year. And I was like the least likely candidate to be running this big training company. Now, if you are here because you want to lead a virtual event like Pete, or you want to grow an online community full of clients or customers, you just want to actually like make a bigger difference, just pop yes into the chat. Can I just have a yes and uh-huh? And can we give some love to Pete Vargas for bringing together like millions of dollars worth of training and some of the best speakers? I've been tuning in. I literally was on the plane yesterday flying here. I was watching, Jesse Etzler talk about leading with generosity and watching Pete talk about all of the incredible things you're learning. So I'm just curious for every single one of you, how many of you are here because you don't just want to find people online, you don't just want to make more money, but you also realize that we're living on a time that's critical on the planet, that we get our message out, that gone are the days of the guru, right? Gone are the days of one human being that we can follow and get all the answers from. Now it's like, gee, you are you, guru. Like you are the one that we've been waiting for. And like I said, I come from a long line of school teachers. I didn't know about technology. I didn't know about social media. I didn't really know about sales or marketing. In fact, my mom was so like anti-sales that when I was a little girl, she didn't want me to sell Girl Scout cookies because she was afraid I would offend the neighbors. So if you're wondering, like, am I really cut out for this? Whoa, this is a lot of information. I don't know if I'm up to speed. I just want to let you know that if I can do this and transition from being a school teacher to running a multi-million-dollar company and reaching hundreds of thousands of people and raising almost $1 million for philanthropic causes. If I can figure out how to do this, so can you. I'm super thrilled to really help you understand what you have inside of you. Because just like Rory said, you have something inside of you that nobody else has. You've been through a set of life circumstances. It's almost like your life has been a PhD program preparing you for this very moment. Take a breath into that. And that there's no accident you're here, that you signed up for the platform tour with Pete Vargas. And I hope you're considering also studying more with Pete, because there's no one better suited to take you where you want to go. So I actually want to share a little bit about how I was able to launch my business into the world and really inspire you and teach you some of the tools. So first of all, as I was leaving school teaching, I knew that there was something bigger coming through me. Do you guys know that feeling of like your skin feeling hot and like the universe tapping you on the shoulder, like telling you there's something else wanting to happen through you? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Will you just type a yes into the chat thread if like you've ever had that? I was terrified. I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but I moved away from school teaching. And I started teaching women to get clear on what they wanted to do with their life, because I had a whole decade of experience in the women's leadership field. And I started helping women really get clear on their next career chapter. My favorite clients, y'all, my favorite, I was literally working for like $50 an hour, $100 an hour, like whatever somebody would pay me. But my favorite clients were all starting businesses. So I started doing business trainings, and I walked into some of these trainings and I was not finding something like what Pete Vargas has put together. I was finding business trainings that were very pushy. It was all about converting a sale, convert, making a deal, closing a sale, converting a lead. And I started thinking to myself, there can be another way. Instead of closing a sale, what if we were like opening relationships? What if we actually built businesses that were collaborative rather than competitive? And so I started teaching some of these basic business principles that were a little bit less pushy. And I found that not only did women love these, but so did men. So if you're a man who's here that's resonating with a more generosity-based approach, what I'm about ready to share with you will totally work for you. And then I got on Facebook, and you guys, I actually launched a Facebook group 2 years ago that has led to me being able to host over, at least seven-figure launches. I'm super thrilled to just brag about our most recent event. It looks a lot like the event that Pete is putting on right now. I got to see over 1,000 women's faces on Zoom at once, change lives, do a really cool fundraiser for girls in Uganda. This is what my stage looked like before I went virtual. We had over 500 women coming to our conferences at a time. And what I've found is that the most effective way to actually fill my events and get my message out into the world has been with Facebook, which is really ironic, you guys, because I used to, don't tell anybody, but I never used to like Facebook. But there's no other platform that's actually going to allow you to get your message out with zero ad spend. We started out doing total organic reach on Facebook. And I want to just share with you a few of these hacks. Okay. So first of all, if you guys don't have a Facebook group, I highly recommend you consider launching a Facebook group, because Facebook doesn't want to be known as an advertising site. They want to be known as a social site. So what you do inside of a Facebook group is going to rank higher in people's feeds. Okay. I also invite you to realize that most of your clients are on Facebook. Now, if you serve millennials, they're on Instagram, right? So you can take everything that I'm sharing here and you can translate it. You can do pretty much the same stuff on Instagram. But here's the thing, is that when you're on camera on Facebook, especially doing Facebook Live, Facebook is actually building you a real-time audience. Okay, one of the things that my publisher said to me, you guys probably have heard of Hay House Publishing. When I asked Hay House what to do to get the word out about my book, you guys. They said, run, don't walk toward Facebook Live. You got to do live video, because live video is actually going to rank higher in everybody's feed. And as soon as you go live, social media is going to be gathering you a live audience. They want your video in front of people. So, you know, that never used to exist. We've got to take advantage of this, and it's totally free. I've learned something called gamification, which builds engagement. It builds trust. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. But here's the thing: when you gamify, when you create games with your ideal clients and customers, when you create connection, just like you see Pete doing here, he's like, hey, y'all, why don't share this incredible free training that you're a part of? And by the way, I'm going to be giving out some incentives to do that, right? What Pete's doing, by the way, is worth studying. He's freaking brilliant. And what that creates is connection, right? And connection is currency. And to make time for those Q&A calls, to make time for people to ask questions on the chat, to create that intimacy with your audience. I want to talk a little bit about gamification, because gamification, write this down if you haven't heard this word. I haven't caught every single section of this, every single session of this platform tour, so you might have already heard a little bit about this, but I'm really seeing gamification as being a big part of the future of digital marketing, because content is a dime a dozen these days. You've got to learn how to actually engage people. And so here's a picture of our Facebook group. It's the Women Rocking Business Sisterhood. Don't worry if you're an awesome man on this training. These tools are going to work for you too. They don't just work for the women, but you guys can see that I've grown this group in just over 2 years to over 50,000 active members. And we're able to promote the things that we're doing in this group. And recently we started doing these visibility video challenges where women actually make a video into the group. Now I'm about ready to give you guys, I'm about ready to lay down some super cool hacks. So pay attention to what I'm about to say. When we give out these assignments, go make a video, put a video in the group, go live in the group, you don't get a chance to be eligible to win the big prize. And there's always a big prize. You're not eligible to win the big prize unless you actually engage your community and you acknowledge them, give them feedback. So the rule is that for every one video you post, you're loving up, you're giving feedback to 3 of your community members or 5 of your community members. And what happens, you guys, is that engagement goes through the roof. Check out these. I don't know if you guys can see the number of comments, but like for these 2 women, these were the first videos they had ever gotten the courage up to make online. And you can see that all the videos in the group are getting 50, 60, 70, 80 comments where people are just loving them up. And can you imagine what happens to their confidence, right? Their confidence goes through the roof. And what happens is that they have an instant feeling of being seen and belonging. And Brené Brown says that belonging is the biggest driver of human behavior. And can we just tune into that for a minute, right? Many of us know deep down that's just true. And so let's just imagine for a minute that you serve families or parents, or you have a nonprofit, or you're a doctor who serves families. Well, what if you were to engage your audience and have them post a picture of their family? Maybe your audience isn't ready to like go live and make a video yet, right? My audience is entrepreneurs, so they're ready to make a video. But what if you had your audience post a picture of their families and then comment on each other's pictures and love each other up? Imagine the feeling of belonging that people start to have then online. And this is a much more engaged platform than just you popping out some content every once in a while. Are you guys getting this? Are you smelling what I'm stepping in, right? This is about building your platform, not in a way where you just have more numbers of people that have subscribed, but like Rory said, actually engaged people. It's actually not as much about quantity, you guys, as it is about quality. How engaged are they? So what happened for us is that we chose a winner from the video contest, who is this incredible woman leader from Egypt. And she was going into some of the most rural parts of the Middle East, educating women on their rights, helping women escape from abusive marriages. We chose her video. You can see her here, Laila Mustafa, her beautiful small 1-year-old son is in her arms. We flew her over from Egypt to one of our live events in California, and there was not a dry eye in the house. Our engagement was through the roof. We got a chance to train Laila to reach even more women. She quadrupled her reach that year by learning our skills, and it was such a beautiful alliance to make with a woman leader on the other side of the world, and that all happened through gamification. I also, because my audience had then gotten so engaged and so much bigger, was able to engage some of my heroes and sheroes like Michael Beckwith, Lisa Nichols, Derek Rydell. I did a series of interviews that year that quadrupled my list. And so it really allowed me to grow my influence and my network. And what I really want to share is that this is not just about reaching more people. It's not just about your numbers growing. It's about making the difference that you came here to make, fulfilling on the promise that your soul made when you came in. You know, for many of you, you've joined a platform tour because you are now willing to play just a little bigger. And so rather than thinking we need some magic bullet to get us to the top of the mountain, I invite you to start right where you are, right here, right now. Trust the instinct that you have to go all in, to be willing to learn these tools, to invest in yourself, and to get yourself into the place in your career where you feel lit up and on top of life every day. Like you can see it in Pete, man. He can't wait. He's been texting me about this tour for weeks, you guys. All he can think about is you and making a difference for you. And like I said, this started happening years ago when I was a school teacher. I had a dream, actually, when I was 16 years old at summer camp, that I was in a circle of women down on the beach, and we were somehow like changing the world together. And so check it out, you guys. In 2012, I had my very first business training. And halfway through the business training, we went down on the beach and we held hands in a circle, like total kumbaya moment, right? And we locked in our visions. 90% of those women went on to make tens of thousands of dollars in their businesses. And so as I've been fulfilling on my mission, right, in 2013, we had double the amount of people that were there in 2012, and we had over 100 women come to our business training. In 2014, we had over 200 women as my platform was growing. In 2015, I had over 300 women. In 2016, it was really stormy, but I had nearly 500 women from all over the world, 23, I think, different countries. In 2017, we did the event, but it was so stormy that it rained and we could not go out and do the circle. In 2018, I had my first circle down the street from my house that I had just purchased a home in 2018 in Santa Cruz, California. I'm a surfer. I love the beach. I decided I wasn't living in Iowa anymore. I moved to my dream home. We did our circle literally down the street from where I then lived. In 2019, we did our second beach circle in Santa Cruz. I was on the front page of the paper. In 2020, you guys know what happened. I had an event of over 700 women that were meant to fly in from all over the world. And true story, you guys, our event was supposed to be March 17th through the 19th of 2020. Well, on March 14th, you guys know what happened. The governor of California shut down live events. And so I did the entire event online. And we actually made more money online than we would have made had people come to the live conference hall. And my trust and faith in virtual events started to grow. And in 2021, then this is what it looked like, right? Bigger and bigger and bigger, over 1,000 women on the screen. And if I can do this, like I said, so can you. The key that I've found to really growing your online community is to make your message bigger. What do I mean by that? I mean to not just make your message about what you sell, but to make it bigger. Okay, so for me, women are getting paid 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. We're starting businesses nearly 50% more frequently than men, but when we do, our businesses are more likely to fail. I wanted to start a business where we flipped those numbers on their heads. At Women Rocking Business, I'm proud to say that instead of 80% of businesses failing, we have 80% of businesses succeeding. And my mission is to close the gender pay gap in my lifetime by empowering women to make more money. Now, men, hang with me because there's some really good stuff here for you guys. Hay House picked up my book. I didn't barely have a business. I had maybe 15, 20,000 people on my mailing list, relatively small. Hay House picked up my book, not because I was just another business coach, but because of how I was delivering my message. So pay attention to here because there's going to be some gold nuggets for you with your message. We are teaching business from a place of collaboration rather than competition, empowerment rather than power over, and business based in generosity, like you see Pete doing. Because I've been teaching business that way, all these doors have opened, crazy big doors. I keynoted at Microsoft headquarters in front of 1,200 people, my TEDx talk. I was on Fox News last year. I got a chance to go to Uganda, raise over $100,000 to help prevent rape and violence. I took my team. I just got this in the mail a couple months ago. How cool is it to wake up to people on the other side of the world writing you a thank you note and taking a picture? So Women Rocking Business trains women to start businesses, you guys, but we are also closing the gender pay gap by empowering women to give themselves a big fat raise, right? So there's a social stand I'm taking, and I know that that is a huge part of the reason that Women Rocking Business has grown. We've doubled to quadrupled every year since I've been in business. And many of my colleagues that started businesses alongside me are not seeing anywhere near that kind of growth. There's an alignment here that I invite you to think about for your own message, for your own business. My client, Susan Pierce Thompson, she helps people get happy, thin, and free. She has a beautiful brand called Bright Line Eating. You might have heard of it, but she's also putting a stake in the ground to put an end to obesity and food addiction on the planet, right? When Susan was using these tools, you guys, we helped her add 100,000 people to our community. My client, Robin Nielsen, she helps women balance their hormones, but she's also going one step further. And I hope you have some aha moments going here, you guys, because she's actually going one step further. She wants to put an end to hormone imbalance and put an end to women having poor sleep just because they're in the middle of their lives. And we know that the women of this world now are on fire to make a difference. We can't be sleeping poorly. We got to get out there and live our lives. So my question for you is, how can you make your business bigger than what you're selling? And I invite you to pop your ideas into the chat. You know, if you serve families, maybe you're bringing harmony back to the family. Maybe you're restoring, right? You're restoring the container of the family. Maybe if you support people to, embrace proper nutrition, maybe you're actually starting to heal from some of the toxicity that exists in our culture. How do you put a stake in the ground that's bigger than just the thing you're selling? Because just like Rory said, people are not buying from you or investing in you or choosing you because of how hard you work. They're not investing in you because of the content that you're giving. They're investing in you because of a values alignment. They're investing in you because of what you believe in, because of the journey you've been on. And I love seeing these comments in the chat. They're going so fast. I can't actually see what's going on. But what I want to say to every single one of you is that message that is wanting to come through you. That is what's going to have you explode on the scene, grow an online community, grow your platform, and not just get in front of a few people, but make meaningful relationships that are going to result in our world being transformed and you making the kind of money that you want to make. I mean, you guys, I work 12 days a month. I take Fridays off. I take a week off every single month. Now, there were a couple months during the pandemic that I needed to work my booty off to get things back on track when I couldn't do my live events. But what I'm saying to you is that what you want is possible, and that your audience is out there waiting for you. They're not just waiting for someone like you, they're waiting for you. And when you get out there and you're willing to do it on your terms, to create a business, a livelihood that fits in your life, rather than having to have your life fit around an overly busy world, you can grow the platform, make the difference, write your own ticket, and then be the change that the world's asking for. So Pete, I'm going to go back to you in a minute, but I just want to acknowledge every single one of you for your commitment to clear your schedule for these days with Pete and with every single one of these speakers. You're in such good hands. And Pete, it's just such an honor to be here.
Sage, that's unbelievable. I just dropped you a text, so check that text. Guys, that's incredible. She gave you a bonus nugget. She gave you 2 nuggets. So what's the first nugget she gave you? And I was paying attention backstage. The first nugget has to do with stages. How she built a Facebook group. How she got people to engage in that Facebook group. How she actually had them interact and gamify it, which helps the algorithm for her showing up in their feed. She shows up in my feed since I've joined her Facebook group last week when I spoke. And it's constantly in my feed. Why? Because of the engagement in that Facebook group. So she gave you tricks on how to do that. But the second thing that she did is she helped you understand what's going to allow you to stand out when you communicate. Having a bigger message than just a normal. Losing weight, that's just a normal message. Everybody talks about losing weight. Helping women, it's just another normal message. Everybody talks about it. You have to elevate how you talk about your big, hairy, audacious goal in this world. Your big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, you have to talk about it bigger. And when you talk about it bigger, people find themselves in it. That's the piece that's huge. They find themselves in it. So Sage is going to be backstage with us. You're not going to want to miss it. Rory's going to be backstage with us, but I'm going to keep going. Give some love to Sage in the comments. Give some love to Sage in the comments.